making baked French toast with challah bread. This is a recipe that my mom usually makes during the holidays around Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's a great like breakfast recipe, especially if you have like a lot of people over. So I thought I would share with you guys our family recipe and how we make it. So first I'm going to show you guys everything you're going to need for this recipe. So you're going to need some brown sugar. I have almonds here, which is optional. We need all-purpose flour, and you're going to need some rolled oats. The brown sugar and the rolled oats are mainly just for the topping, but I like to just kind of have everything out that I'm going to need. You're going to need some cinnamon, some nutmeg, some vanilla extract. This is to ground up granola. If you want to use granola, I just kind of have it sitting here off to the side. Some evaporated milk, and you're going to need some eggs, butter, a pan to put everything in. I have a bowl here to mix my batter to pour into the bread, and that's really it. I mean, I'll have all of the ingredients listed below in case you guys just need like a full breakdown. So let's get started. So you're going to cut your bread into little squares. I'm using this knife with this sort of jagged edge to cut through. It makes it a lot easier than just using a regular knife. See how seamless it makes the bread? So I'm going to be cutting my slices into about maybe 1.5 inches thick. And don't be alarmed if your bread falls apart on the sides, it's okay. I'm going to be making chunks out of this. Some people do like full slices. Look at this. Don't worry about this, guys, because we're going to be putting a topping on top, so it's totally fine. So I'm just going to slice this into chunks. You can make your chunks about 1 inch thick. It's usually what my mom does. So my sister and I made this before, and it came out so amazing. So we were like, oh my gosh, this has to be like a family thing all the time. Like, it's my mom's recipe, but she told us how to make it, and it was just so good. And now I'm going to lay them into the pan, but first I'm going to really butter my pan. You want to make sure you really butter it. Take some country crock. You can use like spray or some regular butter, but I just like to use this because the consistency is just so much easier to work with. And I'm just gonna like literally just spread it around the pan. This is just so it doesn't stick. What I like to do is just take this little spreader brush thingy, sort of like a barbecue sauce I use it for, and I just use it to spread the butter like evenly around the pan once it's in there. I'm going to start putting my bread in here. You can just sort of, actually, you know what, I'm going to take off these little top pieces. Just kind of lay the bread in here. Oh, okay. I wanted to just jump in. Okay, so I pretty much filled up my pan. I'm gonna sit this off to the side. All right, guys, so next I'm going to make my batter. So you're gonna need the 2 cans of evaporated milk. I'm just gonna put these in here. I feel like I might need a bigger bowl, but it's fine. Then I'm gonna add my 5 eggs, and I'm gonna stir as I'm doing this so they can just like mix right in. You want to make sure your eggs are really mixed in there. I mean, you can do this with a mixer, you guys, if you have an actual mixer. And then I'm going to add, so I'm just adding in all my loose ingredients, the butter, melted butter, and you're going to need a stick of melted butter. So just add that in. Now for my dry, I'm gonna add my sugar. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of sugar. I know this sounds like a lot, but it's fine. I probably could have used a bigger bowl. And don't be afraid to get in there and really mix. Yeah, I'm getting some on the counter, so I definitely could have used a bigger bowl. But then I'm going to just add my 1/2 cup of brown sugar to this mix. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which this is 2 teaspoons right here. Add that in, keep mixing so everything is just totally mixed. Then I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm just gonna eyeball it, you guys. About about a teaspoon, a little more. A little more. Then I'm going to just add a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then just mix this all around. And that's pretty much everything for your batter. Some people use milk. It really just depends on like what you want to do. I'm using evaporated milk. Just make sure it's all mixed together. Okay, so now that everything's all mixed, I'm going to pour this batter all over this bread. Like, you want to make sure you completely cover the bread, like all the way around. So make sure I get these corners over here. Just gonna get this. So I'm saving the rest of that batter over there because I'm going to use it for that leftover bread. So now I'm just going to take this, it's completely full, like how I want it completely covered. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator and let it chill for like an hour or two while I make my streusel that's gonna go on top, so stay tuned. All right, so you're gonna make sure your hands are clean for this because you're gonna need your hands for this. So my hands are clean, I washed them. Or if you wanna wear gloves, you can. I'm cooking for myself, nobody's here, just me. So I'm just showing you guys how to do this. So you're going to need a cup of flour. My mom said a cup. I feel like a cup is a lot, but she said a cup. So we're gonna put a cup of flour in here, which I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna do a half cup. I don't wanna do a whole cup of flour. And then I'm just gonna do a cup of oats. Actually, we'll do a half cup of oats. So I'm adding so much more stuff in here. I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and regular sugar mixed together. And I'm doing a half cup of almonds. Maybe a handful of almonds, really. And then we're gonna do a little more nutmeg, just a sprinkle, maybe about a teaspoon. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm putting, cover this back up. Now you need a pinch of salt. Got a pinch of salt in there. And then I'm going to add in my butter. Melted butter, a half a stick of melted butter. And then what you're gonna do to make this streusel is just mix it all around with your hands. And you're just going to pour this on top of your French toast. You don't have to add nuts or oats, it's really up to you. You don't even have to add this streusel. I just really, really like the way it tastes on top. So, just like to break it all up and then just gonna throw it on there. All right, so I have my French toast mixture here. It actually sort of already started kind of fusing together now that it's been sitting. It's important just to let it sit for a little bit. I'm gonna take this cup because I don't feel like grabbing it with my hands, and I'm gonna sprinkle the streusel all over. I didn't make a huge pan, so that's why I didn't need like a whole cup of butter and all that extra stuff earlier to make the streusel. So we're literally just sprinkling it all on top. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is gonna be so good when it's done. So another thing I like to do once I have it all on there, I love brown sugar. I love sweetness. So I'm gonna add a little more brown sugar to the top. I'm just gonna put some in my hand and literally just sprinkle it on top. You don't have to do this. However, it is something that I like to do. I feel like that was enough brown sugar, we're good. I actually have some olive oil spray here. This is just extra. I'm gonna spray the top just so that it gets extra crispy for me. This is a completely unhealthy meal, you guys, so do not think you're going into this healthy. This is a completely unhealthy breakfast. Now we're gonna pop it in the oven. It's finally done. It's super hot, so I'm gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes to cool off, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut it. It's so crispy on top, and this is exactly how I like for my French toast to look. Well, what I do to make sure that it's done a couple times while it's baking is I take a knife or a fork and I kind of stick it in there, and if it comes out like still gooky and wet, then I know that it needs to cook a little bit longer. So that's how I test it. Once I take it out and there's nothing on it, I know that it's ready, and we can sit it out for a little bit, let it cool off, and then serve. Okay, so we're gonna try it together. Oh, it cuts right into it. It's gonna be so good. Maple syrup, God, it's so good. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is such a good breakfast for your family on Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever you want to do. It's just a good holiday breakfast. It'll feed everybody. I highly recommend making this for your family. Okay guys, thank you for watching. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for more cooking videos. I promised you guys that I was going to be dishing these out as soon as I got settled into this place. So I hope that you're enjoying them. I love doing like different things. So just please message me, send me your suggestions, anything you want to see. If I can make it, I will definitely get it up for you guys. Bye.